Thanks for joining us today with the home buying seminar for veterans. We're going to show you how to use your VA benefits to buy a home. Thanks for coming today and spending a little bit of time. This is going to be a great information about the step-by-step guide to purchasing your first home or purchasing your next home if you're already currently a homeowner using your VA benefits. My name is Harold Moore. I'm a mortgage broker here in Fort Worth, Texas. We service all over Texas, and we help veterans like yourselves buy a home here in Texas. My office number is on the screen. It's 817-887-8138. Again, it's 817-887-8138. Feel free to write that down and contact me if you have any questions afterwards. And also, there's my email. It's the harold.moore@jhmooreinc.com. It's HAROLD.MOOREINC.com. Feel free to write that down. I'll leave this on the screen for a few more minutes so you can write that down. So if you have any questions at any point in time, you can always call our office or email me directly. All right, let's get this show going. So here's the home buying process is kind of broken down into 9 steps. We'll kind of go through it. We won't hold you here too long. First thing first is you want to prepare to buy a home. When we say prepare to buy a home, you want to think of just where you are in life and understanding what it takes to buy a home. So it's a very big commitment. This is usually the largest purchase in a person's lifetime is to buy a home. So you want to know that you're in a great financial, well, not a great, but a position financially to buy a home using your VA benefits. Some of the things that you want to ask yourselves are you planning any major life changes like changing a job or starting a family in the next few years that will impact your financial situation? Changing your job is good. Maybe you're going to make more money. That's one of the things you want to think about. Or if you're going to start a family, you're going to need probably a little bit more space than what you're living at right now. Are you committed to staying in the home for at least 5 years? The reason why we usually say 5 years is on average, most homes appreciate about 3 to 5%. So over 5 years, that's generally the average time a person stays in their first home. Definitely no more than 10 years. The statistic shows that most clients are not in their same mortgage in the first 10 years. That's either due to refinancing to a lower rate or selling their home. Do you think you're going to have stable income? Stable income, it just means that do you know what you're going to make on a month-to-month basis every month, so you can budget your mortgage and budget the things that you don't see coming. Then are you confident you can handle household repairs? Or are you willing to pay a specialist to when something breaks? So that goes back to handling that stable income on the month in and month out basis. Can you handle the unexpected things that comes along with being a homeowner when things break? Maybe your pipe or maybe your plumbing is clogged, maybe your roof starts to leak, or if it's a hailstorm. We're in Texas, we have a lot of straight line winds, unpredictable on the hailstorms. So those are some of the things to think about. What are the benefits of buying a home? It means that you're not going to have a landlord who can tell you what to do in your home. You're going to be able to do anything that you want at any point in time in your home. You won't have rent payments. You'll have a mortgage, and the mortgage payments is tax deductible where your rent isn't. Right now, you can write off your interest payments on your mortgage while you're in your home. And you're paying down your note. So you're building equity. So equity is where your mortgage decreases, and then the amount that you sell your home, the difference in your sales price in the mortgage is the part that you receive. And then finding the mortgage that's tailored to your budget. So that's just meaning, goes back to, do you know your monthly budget of income and what you want to spend on your mortgage? Benefits of renting is that your landlord is responsible for any home repairs or upgrades. So if the roof start leaking or the plumbing breaks, I know we had a freeze, if the pipes break, bust, or if the electrical start working for any reason, that's on the landlord. If it's time to bring your home up to standards, that's again on your landlord. You won't have to buy any homeowners insurance or pay your property taxes if you're renting. That's the responsibility of the landlord, even though it's generally built into your rent. It's not a separate thing that you pay. And then also you can move at any point in time after your lease is up. It's generally easy. Once you've paid, stayed at your home or your place that you're renting for the time that y'all have agreed, you can up and leave. So you can have a different place virtually every year, sometimes less, because sometimes the lease is less than a year. So you can have a different place almost every year. So that's one of the benefits. How do you evaluate your financial situation? When you're buying a home, you want to look at all your bills, your monthly bills, and see if, let's say, you're thinking of buying a home and you want to know what the mortgage is, and then you pretty sure you can handle a $2,000 payment out of your monthly income, then you want to see what your mortgage payment would be. And then after you pay your mortgage, your $2,000 mortgage, can you save money? Can you make your student loans if you have student loan payments, your car payments, your credit card payments? What about saving for emergency funds? Do you have the ability to do that? It all, again, starts back with that stable income, knowing what you're going to make month in and month out, or a good idea. Because if you're self-employed, you're not going to make the same amount every month. But you probably know for a year, I make, this amount. Maybe it's 150. I might have a slow month and January and March. So I save up accordingly. Once those slow months hit, I have the funds in my savings account to account for those slow months. And then also you want to think about your down payment and closing costs. You got to save up for that, because that's something that's going to be in every transaction. Now, with your VA benefits, you don't have down payment. It's a zero down payment loan. So that's the great part. And then your closing cost is generally going to be the lowest out of all of the other loans that you can get out there. Because VA caps all of that, so you don't have to worry about if you're going to get overcharged by like title companies or the sellers. Exploring your mortgage options. Well, we're talking about VA loans today. So your VA loan is the loan type is backed up by the government. and the rates are going to be very low on the VA. Now, you do have a fixed rate and an adjustable rate option with your VA loan. Your fixed rates could be a 30-year fixed rate, 25-year, 20-year, 15, or 10. Adjustable would be the same. It works a little bit different. It might be fixed for the first 5 years, and then on the 6th year, it's going to adjust to whatever the market is. It might be a fix for the first 10 years and then adjust for on the year 11 to wherever the market is. And then that's where you talk about the terms. Just like I already talked about, it might be a 30-year, 15-year, 20-year, 25. It's just going to depend on which one will work for you. Generally, most people do a longer term. So like a 30-year to keep your mortgage note lower, and it frees up a lot of cash flow for home improvements, building up your savings so you don't have to keep spending that money out. When you do a shorter term note, like a 15-year, you're going to have a bigger monthly payment in your mortgage. So, but you're going to pay less in interest. That way you could build equity in your home a lot faster. The parts of your monthly mortgage payment is pretty simple on your VA loan. There's no mortgage insurance, so it's only principal, interest, and your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. So the principal is the actual amount on your note, what you're borrowing, and every month you're paying that down, and that's what creates your equity, what I was talking about before. The equity again is the how much you can sell your home for. Let's say it's 350, and then your mortgage, your principal on your mortgage is only 300. So that difference of the $50,000 is your equity. So that goes to you. The interest is what the lender will charge you. So that's the interest on the loan. Everybody know what an interest is. And then you'll have your property taxes and homeowners insurance. Your property taxes are set by the county, city, all the government entities that taxes your property and the for your property taxes. And that's what gets collected in your note. Your homeowners insurance is whatever you choose. So it might be Allstate, might be Progressive, it might be any of the big names or some names that you don't know. So that's what your homeowners insurance is. And they're generally in an escrow account. So an escrow account is a savings account that you get set up on your behalf. So when you make this monthly payment, your property taxes and homeowners insurance goes into that escrow account, which is a savings account. So once your bill comes due, then in that savings account, the money is there to pay for the property taxes and homeowners insurance. How to get pre-approved? Well, it's really simple with us. We have an online application. At the end of this presentation, you will receive an email. If you're ready to move forward, it's going to have a direct link to the online application, so you can start that process. You can also reply to that email with any kind of questions that you have, or pick up the phone and give us a call, and we'll love to talk to you about it. The online application is a quick process. It usually takes less than 5 minutes to fill it out. And that gives us all the information based on you to know what we need to pull when we pull your credit. So we're going to check your credit history. We're going to check your financial records so we can look at your financial picture. And then once we get you pre-approved, that pre-approval letter is generally good for 90 days, but we can extend it without re-pulling your credit to about 120 days, so 4 months. Some of the things that you want to think about is your savings. Again, you want to have some savings. Since we're doing a VA loan, you're not going to have any down payment, but you would want to have some savings in there because your savings will be needed for maybe closing costs or moving in. So you want to have some money saved up for that. Your income is going to go by how much you make on a monthly basis if you're a W-2 employee, and that's the gross amount, not the amount that you receive after your taxes. And then we're going to calculate that against your debts. So we're going to get this debt to income ratio to figure out how much you can afford. And then the last thing, it will be your credit. As VA states, generally, most veterans will need a 580 or better credit score to get pre-approved. A 580 is really good. If you don't have a 580, that's okay too, because you might be able to get pre-approved, or we can tell you what you need to work on to get you in position to get pre-approved. Credit will be pulled once you do the online application. Once we get you pre-approved, that's going to be the maximum amount that you can afford, or we'll finance. So let's say your maximum is 500,000. Anything below 500,000, you can buy. So let's say you got pre-approved for 500,000, but you're saying your budget needs to keep you at 400,000. That's totally fine. You can buy a home, anything under 500,000. So you need to cap yourself at 400,000, because that's going to keep your mortgage payment to 400 to what you can afford is 400,000. That's totally fine. Also, we'll finance that. We're going to tell you the most that we can approve you with, and then you can choose anything underneath that. Then you want to talk to a real estate agent. At this point, you want to talk to a real estate agent because they're going to help you find that right home for you. So that realtor would go into the MLS system. That's the system that realtors use to upload all of their listing of the homes and update it if it's under contract or about to close or half closed. So it's no longer on the market. So that's a really key thing to do, is work with the realtors. They're going to know the areas which the home stays is in, so that you can find a good home in the school districts or the amenities or the resale values, whatever's important to you. They're going to also give you a guiding hand and consulting you throughout the process of buying your home. So, and they're going to do the paperwork, like write up a purchase agreement. They're going to be able to present that purchase agreement to the listing agent on your behalf in a way that benefits you and also show you're a serious buyer. And they'll also be able to make some connections for you in the home buying process, like your inspectors. So the inspector will go to your home, look at all the nuts and bolts and tell you if this is right, this is wrong, and give you a big report. They'll be able to tell you about movers or a home warranty, getting your utilities on. That's one of the things that they'll be able to do. You might be thinking to yourself right now, how do I find a realtor? Well, a real estate agent. Well, the first and best place would be a referral. If you know a family or a friend who recently bought a home in the area, you can always go and ask them for a referral to who they use. Or you can ask me as the lender, and I can refer you to somebody. If I know somebody who has worked that area and done really good in the past, I would pass that, give you a couple of names to talk to a realtor and see who you would like, and then go from there. Also, the realtor would need to be licensed And that license is very important because that license tells you and me and everybody that they have passed the test, they meet the standards, and they're working on your behalf legally by the state, because that license gives them the right to do the work. What to expect from a realtor? Every realtor is a little bit different. They're going to tell you how they work. Generally, every realtor would not even take you out without a pre-approval letter. That's why you want to really start the process with me, so we can get you pre-approved first, and then you can go out and start shopping. And then once you present them with the pre-approval letter, they know you're a serious buyer, and they'll start taking you out to these listings to view the homes. So they'll set up the showing times, show you, and you'll be able to view those homes. Generally, in a private setting, maybe you'll have to go in the open house with the realtor, but they'll be able to guide you on their process of how they do it. The number 5 is how to find a home to buy. Again, this is where the realtor really is going to be very important, because they're going to be able to shop the MLS, send you updated listings. When they first hit the market, you'll be able to first know what comes onto market, and they'll be able to show you that home in a timely fashion. They'll also be able to tell you more about the neighborhood that home is in. Is an area that is close to a nightlife that you might want to be in, or it might want to be closer to downtown, or you might want to be in the suburbs to be away from the city. You might want a little bit bigger of a backyard or area that might fit to you. So they'll be able to narrow down the search based on your criteria on things that you want. That's what they can do. They can also do your search based on the commute that you want. Maybe you only want to be 10-minute drive from where you work at, then they can make the search that way also. Or you want to keep your kids in a certain school system, so they can do the search based on just that school. So it's a lot of things that they can narrow down the search based on your criteria, and then you'll be getting the homes that fit you. That's one of the great things about working with a realtor. They'll help you get the home, help you look at homes that fit your criteria, not just a blanket search where you're going to any, meeny, miny, mo, and you don't know if that, once you look at that home, you're like, this is not what works for me. The advantages of buying a home is usually is a lot cheaper than building a home, and it's a lot less time because you can be in that home in less than 30 days. Where building a home, yes, you do get to pick out the floor plan and things, the finishes, but you're looking at 12 months, 15 months of build time waiting on that home. So you might be waiting a year and a half. Maybe you might be waiting 6 months, but you're going to be waiting some time to actually get into that home. And those things, it's longer on time, and it's currently going to be more expensive than a pre-existing home. How to make an offer. You want to, again, set your budget. Like, I'm going to go back to my example. You got pre-approved for 500,000, but you're saying your budget allows you to go up to 400,000. So you're going to find a home in that 400,000 or less. Then you're going to say, okay, we like that home, Mr. and Miss Realtor. We really like that home. We want to put in an offer. What do you think this home is valued at? They're going to give their opinion, and then you can come up with a number with their help if you need to make an offer on their home. They're going to write up the contract for you, and then they'll submit it. In that contract, you can ask for anything. Like, you might want to keep all the blinds in the home. You might want to keep all the appliances. You might want them to repair some things that you already see that could be in your offer. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna put those contingencies in for you. Now, once you get your offer accepted, it doesn't really stop there because you'll have to have a home inspection. So you'll get a home inspection, and then after your home inspection, you can come back to the sellers if you need some more things fixed, or they might just give you some credits towards the closing costs. On negotiating the price of the home, the realtor, you guys might go back and forth. Once we get the executed contract, we'll send you the loan estimate. The loan estimate is just going to outline the basic fees and cost of the loan to close that transaction. The seller might counter your offer, so you might tell them, oh, I think this home is only worth $350. I want to buy it at $350. They say no, it's listed at $375, but I go down to $365, and then maybe you guys have to split the difference of the $350, $365. Negotiating is always stressful, so try and be mindful of that. Everybody has stress about buying a home, but take it with stride, take it in stride, because it's going to pay off for you. The next step is trying to get ready for closing. So again, you're going to have your home inspection. This is where the home inspector is going to come to your home. They're going to look at everything: the foundation, the roofing, the outlets, the heating and cooling, the sprinklers, the appliances. They're going to look at, they're going to see if they see any lead or mold or inspection, or any pest problems, termites. They're going to look at that. So all of that, they're going to have a whole detailed report, and they're going to have pictures of things that they find. And if you're there at the end of the inspection, they'll walk you around the house, showing you exactly what they have found. The home inspections generally go for, the cost is between $200 and $500. Now, with a VA loan, you're also gonna have to have a wood and termite inspection. So that's going to be additional cost. So that might push up your inspection cost to about $600 to $650, maybe even $700, because that's an added cost to the general home inspection. Next thing you're going to have is a home appraisal. The appraisal process is for the independent person to go to the home. They don't have any affiliation with the mortgage company, your realtors, or yourself. That's just by law. That's just so we can have an independent person say this is the value of that home. So they're going to go out there, look at their home, and then go back to their office and then compare it to recently sold homes in the area. And then once they look at all of that, they're going to come up with a report and say, this is how much that this home is worth. Now, if the home comes in above your contract price, your purchase price, that's good news for you, because you're going to have instant equity in your home. If that number comes in below your purchase price, now you can at least negotiate your home price lower with the seller. So that's one thing that will allow that for you. And it's one place where you can actually get out of a deal. If the seller doesn't agree to come down to that price, you can actually walk away from that deal. The cost on the appraisal is generally between $250 to $600. So that's generally the cost. Next thing is the underwriting. So underwriting is where the mortgage company, us, will work with our underwriters to look at verifying your income, assets, and debts, and then the property details. Now, with us, what we do in the pre-approval process, we're going to knock out these first three items: income, assets, and debts, before you ever even get to shopping for a home. We're going to verify your income, we're going to verify the assets, and we're going to verify your debts. So that's 75% of the process already done. last 25% is the property. So that's how we work. And then we'll ask you for any additional details that we'll need. Now, another thing is, do not open any new lines of credit at any point in time in the home buying process, because that could stop you from buying a home. So you don't want to open up any new lines of credit. Don't go and overspend your assets or your money in the bank. Try and keep everything as you normally have. Number 8 is what we all are here to do, is close the home. Closing the home is great because this means that you are officially a home buyer. You're a homeowner now. The first thing in the closing process, you will get a closing disclosure. This is pretty much really close to the final numbers. You're going to get the final numbers right before closing. So that's going to be 3 days. You're going to receive the closing disclosure at least 3 days before your closing date. And so you can review the numbers without any pressure. And then you're going to have your final walkthrough. Generally, that's done either the day before closing, so you can verify the home is what you saw before. And when you're verifying the state and condition that it's in, make sure everything is done that you want it to be done in the contract. Then you're gonna go to closing. So what do you need to bring? You're gonna need to bring your driver license or a valid government ID. You're gonna need to bring the cashier's check or the wire your closing cost funds to the title company. And then your agent is usually gonna be there, your realtor. They're gonna be there in attendance. If you can't make it there, sometimes you can assign somebody as a private attorney to sign your closing documents for you. If that's the case, you'll definitely need to let us as the lender know and title know, and draft up the power of attorney documents and send them to us so we can check those things off. And then from there, you'll sign the paperwork. Great part is it's not that much, but it is, you're going to have a lot of things to sign. So be ready to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour at the closing table, just signing. Some of the things that would be included in your closing costs is your escrow funds, the third-party fees like the appraisal costs, the title insurance, credit report fees, your interest, so per diem, meaning the daily rate of interest accrued every day. And if your home is in the HOA, it's going to be any HOA dues or whatever they charge for get moving into that HOA, and any discount points. That's all the fees generally that's going to be charged on the closing disclosure. And then you just have to be ready to make your mortgage payment. So your mortgage payment is generally going to be not the same month. It's going to be 1 month broken up. So let's say you close in May, then your first mortgage payment is not going to be due until July. So you'll skip June, and then their first mortgage payment will be in July. You always skip the next month. So if you close in April, you're going to skip May. Your first mortgage payment will be in June. Your mortgage statement will break down your payment again. You'll see your principal, your interest, and then the things that are in your escrow account, your homeowner's insurance and property taxes. Your first payment, again, here it is right here. Your first payment won't be due up until 2 months after your closing. So you have about 2 months to make that first mortgage payment. Again, this is showing you an example. So if you closed on June the 9th, you won't make a payment from June to to June 30th, but you'll skip July and you'll have your payment due on August 1st. All right, so if you got any questions, feel free to contact me. Here's my email address again, my phone number again. It's 817-887-8138. Again, it's 817-887-8138. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to attend this VA Veterans Home Buying Seminar. I hope you got some great information. And if you have any questions, I mean any questions, feel free to give me a call or email, whichever is more convenient to you, and then I'll answer those for you. Okay. Well, I will be here if you are ready to move forward.